They kicking it around, my man.
It's the sport of kings, better than diamond rings. Football,
Wildcats,
football,
Wildcats,
football,
Wildcats,
football,
Wildcats.
Welcome to the Married with Picks podcast, season 6, episode 3, week 3. So, first of all, Steve, we have to apologize for last week. Last week was the first week ever that we didn't post a podcast. And I say post because we actually did record one. I just didn't post it. We will at some point go back and post that just for shits and giggles because it was pretty funny.
I still don't know why you didn't post it. It's probably the best one.
Well, I didn't watch the whole thing, but what I watched, it was actually maybe not as bad as I thought it was. A little too much alcohol last Friday night for me. So, all right. But here we are, week 3. First game. Do I sound really loud?
A little bit.
First game.
You always sound loud to me.
Is the Raiders at the Commanders. Commanders are 2.5 point favorites now, Steve. Jaden Daniels is questionable, or is he officially out?
He's out. From what I see, he's definitely listed out per coach's press conference this morning.
So Marcus Mariota will get the start. We do have the Raiders on a short week after losing Monday night, traveling to the East Coast. Given the uncertainty in the quarterback situation, I still don't know what to make of the Commanders, honestly, because any game I've seen the Commanders play, they look like shit. So I got no play on this game.
Well, a lot of the games that they won last year was like come from behind, like schoolyard, chuck the ball downfield, end of the game types, miracle stuff from Jaden Daniels, and he's that good. But from a consistency throughout the game standpoint, he looked very much like a rookie quarterback last year. Haven't really seen them get anything together this year yet. And we're not talking Jaden Daniels, we're talking Marcus Mariota. I almost feel like that's enough said for this game. Like Marcus Mariota, how can you... Even Commanders fans can't feel comfortable putting money down on Marcus Mariota in this game against the Vegas Raiders. I'm going to take the Raiders. So they're getting more than a field goal. Gotta love it.
All right. That was my lean, but no play for me. And there's Murphy. All right.
Murphy likes it too.
So next game is the Falcons at the Panthers. Falcons are 5.5 point favorites. This is a division game. These teams obviously played twice last year. Carolina won the later matchup, but that was week 18, although I do think the Falcons were still playing for something, actually playing for the playoffs. But the Panthers won that game 44-38. They lost the earlier game 20-38, and that was actually when Andy Dalton was briefly the quarterback for the Panthers. And they did split back in 2023, and those were both Bryce Young starts as well. I don't have a lot of science behind this one, but I am going to continue to go against the Panthers until they show me something. So that does put me on the Falcons.
Well, let's not forget they covered last week. So
They did.
I know I was on the other side of it during the podcast, but then flipped back before the game. But I think you did the same thing. A lot of the action seemed to be on Denver. It was Denver Panthers, right?
No, Arizona.
Arizona, yeah. A lot of public action on Arizona. So we rolled away from them at kickoff. But I'm in the same position here. I think I like the Falcons.
Okay. All right. Next game is the Packers at the Browns. Packers are 7.5 point favorites. So we have the Packers are what? 2-0, right? Browns are 0-2. This is kind of more just like a gut, like position in the schedule type situation that I'm going to take the Browns, and I feel very good about it. It's like a good gut feel. That's just the way this game's going to go. One other thing I will mention, and I was mad at myself because I missed it last year. Jim Schwartz has traditionally owned Kyle Shanahan whenever he meets him. Now, we have Matt LaFleur as the coach of the Packers, and he's kind of from that Kyle Shanahan tree. He coached with him. I didn't even know this, all the way back to the Texans. So the Texans in Washington and with the Falcons, they were all on staff together. Kyle Shanahan always a little bit above. So I really like the Browns here.
It's funny because I like the Browns too. I just think it's too many points. The Packers are definitely the superior team. The defense flies around, but they're going on the road. And the Browns looking at 0-2.
Yeah.
If they lose this game, they're 0-3. Not saying that they're going to win the game, but I think they're going to at least keep it competitive.
One other thing to mention, the Browns played the Ravens last week and absolutely shut down Derrick Henry. So if they're going to do the same thing against the Packers and try to take the run out, put it on Jordan Love's shoulders to win it through the air, I don't know how that's going to necessarily work out. All right, so we're on the same side of that one. Same side of both so far. All right, next game is the Steelers at the Patriots. Steelers are 1.5 point favorites. Now, you know, I do like Mike Vrabel a lot, so I do want to take the Patriots here, but I just think these are two teams. Steelers defense has not played. We typically think of them as a good defense. They have not been good this year. Patriots defense, not very good. So I just think the Steelers have the better offense. And if Rodgers isn't facing a bad defense, I think he'll look okay like he did week 1 against the Jets. Now, the Steelers do have some injuries on defense to watch out for. Hightower and Joey Porter questionable going into this week. It's Friday afternoon, so don't know whether they'll play or not at this point. But I got to take the Steelers.
It's tough on this game. I want to take the Steelers, but I feel like there's going to be probably a lot of late action on the Steelers, or the public sentiment will be on the Steelers here with Aaron Rodgers. Patriots playing at home. It's tough for them playing at home and being a dog against the Steelers, who really haven't proved anything, at least this edition of the Steelers. So I started to lean Steelers, then started switching to the Patriots. I'm staying off this game.
Okay. All right, next game, Steve, is the Rams at the Eagles. Eagles are 3.5 point favorites. So these teams played twice in the last 2 years. The Eagles won both of those. And I asked you this as a trivia question the other day, but I'll ask you again. You did get it right. How many 30-plus yard touchdown runs did Saquon Barkley have in the course of the 2 games?
Saquon, 4.
So, and I do remember, because I think in the 2023 matchup, I had the Rams, and I remember him taking off down the field multiple times, and that was how the Eagles kind of pulled away in that game.
I was in LA too.
I didn't actually remember him having 2 long runs in the last time that they played, but he did.
Yeah, don't you remember it was snowing, and he was so far out in front of everybody. He was just kind of like leaning forward like he was crossing the finish line. Mm-hmm. And then he sprinted. He just kept sprinting like across the end zone and then all the way back to the bench. Like, it was crazy. There was nobody within like 20 yards of him when he scored that touchdown.
Maybe. So, I mean, that's what it's going to come down to. Like, look, you guys are 2-0. You haven't looked great. I don't know what's up with A.J. Brown. Is he hurt? Is he not hurt? It doesn't make much sense to me what's going on there. It's going to come down to whether the Rams make an effort to stop Saquon, I think. So if you see Saquon taking off for the end zone, no, you're on the wrong side. But I'm going to take the Rams. Stafford is looking good. He looks like he has a nice little connection going with Devontae Adams. So he's got some weapons. I'm going to go Rams.
Interesting. So I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on with the Eagles and with A.J. Brown. And I'm not really sure if he's injured, because he was hobbling a little bit into the season, but he didn't have an injury designation for either of the first 2 games. So you can't blame it on the injury. I think what's more likely here is that you can't lose sight of the fact that the Eagles have a new offensive coordinator, and a guy who has never, even though he's been with Nick Sirianni for a couple of years, and he was highly involved with the offense last year, even though he wasn't the coordinator, he wasn't calling plays. So we have a new offensive coordinator, a guy who has never called plays before. Like I've always said, I don't care how much knowledge and how much work you have put in as a coach in this league, until you sit there with the headset on and call plays during the game, there's no guarantee that you're going to be good at it. You can prepare as much as you want, but some guys just can't call plays. And that's what it looks like to me. Like, this guy is an infant in calling plays. I don't know that the playbook is there. It looks like everybody's covered when they go out on routes, which tells me that it's basically there's no levels being run. They're all running around the same level, and they're just blanketing. The defense is just blanketing straight across the field and covering everybody because everybody's running at the same depth. There's a lot more of like passing the ball to like a wide receiver screen straight out of the backfield, which never occurred over the last 3 or 4 years. So you can tell that that's a new wrinkle that's being put in there by this offensive coordinator. But what scares me is that when we start to focus on these little short dump offs to the running back, that Jaclyn's not looking downfield and he's not getting better at looking downfield. So I am not saying this to cause alarm that there's going to be a long-term problem here. You got to give the coordinator a couple weeks to get his feet underneath him and see if he can figure it out. That's what happened to the Eagles last year. If you remember, they were 2-2 through 4 weeks, had a bye, and then kind of figured out a little bit on the offense. They got the run game going, and they leaned more on the run. And they also made some key changes on defense that turned their defense from an okay defense to an elite defense. So we'll see what kind of adjustments are made over the next couple of weeks. Let's get to the point of this game. I like the Rams, especially at 3.5. Given all those concerns, the Rams have been in big key situations against the Eagles over the last couple of years. Like you mentioned, they played in the not the NFC Championship, but the divisional round and lost to the Eagles. And it was a tight game. They had a chance to win that game. The Rams did at the end, and the Eagles prevailed. I think this is where it comes back and bites the Eagles. I look for revenge for the Rams, especially if you get that half point over the 3 mark, the field goal mark at 3.5. If it stays at 3.5, I'm all over the Rams.
See, now anytime you go against the Eagles, the Eagles win.
Exactly. But I'm legitimately picking the Rams here and not doing any kind of hocus pocus like reverse mush. Like, I like the Rams here.
All right, we'll take an Eagles 3-point win. Well, they can win.
They can win. I'll take a win. I want to win, right?
But
obviously.
I just don't want them to cover.
We're picking games here, and I got to tell you how I see it, and I think the Eagles could be in trouble.
All right, so next game is the Colts at the Titans. This is a division game. Titans have lost all the matchups over the last 2 years against the Colts. Prior to that, they won them all, but different team, different coach. So Daniel Jones so far this year has been reborn with your buddy Shane Steichen in Indy. I would assume that everybody's going to be all over the Colts in this one. At 4.5, I just can't do it, but I can't take the Titans either, so I got nothing on this one.
I like the Colts. I'm going to keep riding the Colts this year. I just think that Daniel Jones is a great fit for the Colts, as I mentioned over the last 2 podcasts. Well, you didn't get to hear it last week, but I went on a 5-minute rant about Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman Jr. and how these 3 are going to really take the league by storm this year. I think the Titans are horrible. They're led by Cam Ward, who looks like he has a shot to be legitimate in this league, but he's only 2 games in to his NFL career, and I think the Colts are going to make him pay. Take the Colts. They'll win by more than a touchdown.
All right, next game, Jets at Bucks. So Jets are, 0-2, right? And the Bucks are 2-0.
Yep, that's correct.
And
Josh Fields is out.
Justin Fields. He's out.
Justin Fields is out.
So it's Tyrod Taylor will be quarterback for the Jets. Again, not a lot of science. I am going to take the Bucks. It is a fairly big line, but
I expect it to go up too. Right now it's sitting at 6.5. It's probably going to be 7 by game time, if not more, especially with the news that Fields will be out. I don't know how Tyrod Taylor can keep this close. I would consider maybe the Jets if they were playing at home, but I think you take the Bucks at home in that Tampa heat. The Jets aren't going to be able to stay with them.
All right. Next game is the Bengals at the Vikings. So this is going to be a battle of the backups. So we are going to have Jake Browning for the Bengals versus Carson Wentz for the Vikings. Now, I was set to take the Bengals, but then I thought, like, Brian Flores, defensive coordinator for the Vikings, like, Jake Browning did throw 3 picks after coming in for Burrow last week. Is Flores going to be able to confuse him and get him into some mistakes? So I don't feel comfortable taking the Bengals here, and under no circumstance am I taking a Carson Wentz-led team. So he's going to make history with this start as being the only quarterback to start with 6 different teams in 6 years. And that's all the history he's making.
I'm going against Carson Wentz. I can't stand that fucker. It's about as simple as that. I like Browning. I think that he can play and keep that offense moving, even though he's not Joe Burrow. He's still he's in a position that he was 2 years ago, right, where he got a lot of snaps because Burrow was hurt. I think that he has this version, the 2025 version of Browning, can really stick here and make a difference.
I mean, I think he can long term, but the O-line is bad in Cincinnati, and Flores likes to blitz a lot.
And they're on the road, so it's not going to be easy. But Carson Wentz, at the end of the day, is going to make a mistake that's going to allow the Bengals to win this game.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, so I can't. All right, next game is the Texans at the Jags. Jaguars are now 1.5 point favorites. This is a division game. Texans won both matchups last year. They split in the 2 previous years. And then it's all Texans wins all the way back to 2018. But the last time that the Jags won at home versus the Texans was 2017. Now, the Texans are 0-2, Jags are 1-1. I'm still not sold on the Jaguars, even though they do have 1 win, and probably the other one was pretty close. They could have won that game last week. But this is just another gut feel. Texans 0-2. Are they going to go 0-3 at this point? So I think they can get the win here. And again, it's just, this is another one I feel pretty good about, Texans.
I like the Texans as well. I think that they'll go on the road and beat the Jaguars here. They kind of own the Jaguars from a division matchup standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Looks like more bets on the Jags, more money's on Texans. That's a sharp money there. I will go Texans.
All right, next game, Saints at Seahawks. Seahawks are minus 7.5 point favorites. This will be the first road game for the Saints. So they have to travel to Seattle. I am still not sold on Darnold, even though he's, I guess, been decent so far this year. The Seahawks are, 1-1? But I'm also not going to take the Saints, so I have no play on this one.
I mean, I want to say no play, but I think the line's so big here. I don't think the line should be this big. I don't like the Saints. But, again, with Darnold going into Seattle, Darnold only 3rd game.
Yeah, they're 1-1, right? The Hawks. Yeah.
I mean, they probably shouldn't be 7.5 point favorites, but I think because the line's so big, that's why you take the Hawks. I'm going to take the Seahawks on this game.
Okay.
I don't like the Saints at all. I think Kellen Moore is fugazi.
Okay.
He had a lot of talent in Philly last year and made him look good, and he got the first
He's one
shot.
of those guys, I don't know where he ever got, like, his, like he was like the hot coach. Like, why? What did he ever do? I never seen it.
Dallas connection.
Yeah, but what did he ever do? Nothing. All right. Oh, we did that one. Okay, next game. Broncos at Chargers. Chargers are 2.5 point favorites. Now, tell me if this is weird. So this is a division game. Chargers won both matchups last year, 34-27 and 23-16. But this is the third. Okay, it's week 3, right? And this is the Chargers' 3rd in division game. Is that weird? And as far as I could, I was just doing it in my head. I couldn't think of another team.
It is considered they'll only have 3 more the rest of the season through the next 14 weeks.
Yeah, now, some teams have played 2. Like, Dallas played 2 division games, but not 3. So, the Chargers, if they were to win this game, they would be 3-0 on the season and 3-0 in division. Like, that would be huge for them, right?
Yes.
But I don't see it happening that way. You're going to end up with the Chargers on top of the division by that much, and then you're going to have the Chiefs all the way down at the bottom. It's kind of crazy, right? So I'm taking the Broncos here just because of the spot in the schedule, and I think after seeing Justin Herbert, because they played the Mexico or Brazil game, and then they played Monday night. So they've been in the primetime spot the last 2 weeks. I feel like the public's going to be all over the Chargers. And you take the Broncos.
Listen, I feel exactly the same way. I don't know what is going on this week. We're all on the same page with almost everything. I think every game we haven't picked against each other yet.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I like the Broncos.
Good.
I love the Broncos, actually. The Broncos are maybe my best pick of the week.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next game is the Cardinals at the 49ers. 49ers are 2.5-point favorites. This is also a division game. Last year, the Cardinals actually did win both. One of them was a Week 18 game, though. The earlier matchup, they won by 1 point. In 2022 and 23, the 49ers won both matchups. Now, it's uncertain, I guess, right now who the quarterback for the 49ers is going to be because Brock Purdy was back at practice throwing. So it's not out of the question that he could start on Sunday. But it would be either him or Mac Jones, who did get the win last week against the Saints. I've always liked the 49ers, kind of been one of my teams. Last year, they let me down quite a bit when I bet on them, but so far this year, I've gotten them right. I'm going to stick with them here. 49ers.
Well, this is the first one we're going to go opposite. I like the Cardinals here. I think, if Purdy can play, it might be a little bit different. I think he practiced yesterday and Wednesday, so he's trending up to play. Mm-hmm. I think he probably, if he had to pick it now, he'd probably play. But I think Cardinals defense is swarming, and I think the Cardinals will be ready to play. They've had this game circled on their calendar since training camp, and I think they've been preparing for it this whole time. I look for the Cardinals to get the upset here.
All right, so that's the first game. We're opposite sides, and no, I will not bet you on it. The next game is the Cowboys at the Bears. Now, this line has shifted. When I did the sheet the other day, it was Bears -1.5. It shifted over to Cowboys -1.5. And this is the Matt Eberflus revenge game, just so you know, because he's the defensive coordinator now for Dallas, former head coach of the Bears. Now, so far, Ben Johnson has not been able to get the wins for the Bears. I don't think Caleb Williams, he comes out that first series, which they've practiced all week. He looks fine. And then after that, the wheels fall off. He can't make accurate throws. So I have zero faith in the Bears offense. And I did say that last week in the podcast. Dallas offenses look good. Their defense, not so much. But I got to take the Cowboys here.
It's kind of a trash game for me. I don't think that either of these teams are going to score over 20 points against each other. It's probably just going to be a tractor pull, ugly game. Probably should not watch it and just turn on and see what the score is at the end. I want to take the Bears so bad, but I'm going to stick with the Cowboys.
All right, and then we're into the primetime games. Sunday Night Football, Chiefs at Giants. Chiefs are -5.5-point favorites. Now, I heard on the radio that the Chiefs have never won at the Giants. That doesn't mean much because they haven't played at the Giants all that much. The last time they actually played was in Giant Stadium is 2017. But the couple times that they did play each other, kind of low-scoring defensive games, 12-9 and 20-17 in their most recent meeting, which was 2021. So if the Chiefs were to lose this game, they would go to 0-3. I don't see that happening. I definitely think the Chiefs win. Do they cover? I'm not confident. One thing to watch is Xavier Worthy going to be back? It sounds like he was back at practice, but I'm not 100% that he'll be on the field. That would certainly help to give Mahomes a reliable target downfield.
He pretty much only has Hollywood and Kelsey if he decides to.
Well, both of them if they decide to catch a ball.
Catch a ball.
So, I don't know. I'm going to take the Chiefs. I'm not confident in the cover.
I'm going to take the Chiefs as well. I think they're going to blow them out. Looks like Tracy is going to play in this game. He's got upgraded to healthy, so he should give the Giants a little bit of action. You got him but Scatterby's been getting a lot of the carries. Giants played tough last week, and I think you always got to look at Russell Wilson. But I think Andy Reid will have a good game plan against Russell Wilson, and the Chiefs will look to win by double digits on the road.
All right, and then the Monday night game is the Lions at the Ravens. Ravens are 5.5-point favorites in this one. These teams played back in 2023. That game was also in Baltimore, and I remember that game. It was over before it began. The Ravens won 38-6. The Lions could not get anything going. I don't know if it'll play out exactly like that, but I am going to take the Ravens here.
Oh, we're on the other side here. I like the Lions. I just think it's too many points. I don't like the Lions as much on the road, but I think they figured something out on offense. They're another team that's trying to figure out the play calling with a new offensive coordinator. They look good. They put up over 50 points last week, but they were playing a tone-deaf team. The Ravens are much better, maybe one of the best teams in the NFL, if not the best. But I still think it's too many points, 5.5 on the road. I'll take the Lions in a primetime action.
All right, so that'll do it for us for week 3. If you're watching, remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you back here for week 4. Peace out.
Football.